I'm pretty sure UDA officials are holding a crisis meeting as we speak. And the reason is headers such as these, and I quote, "Breaking news, the High Court has declared the purported resolution to dissolve the Amani National Congress ANC party as unlawful and unconstitutional, ruling that ANC remains a duly registered political party with all its rights, obligations and legal protections. All assets taken to UDA to be returned." This ruling was made yesterday, the 22nd. Now, to me, I feel like this move was sanctioned by Mudavadi through his proxies. And so in line with that, in this video I want us to look at the possible reasons as to why Mudavadi has fought to regain controls of ANC from Ruto. And so with no further ado, let's get after it. Now, the first reason why Mudavadi has fought to regain control of ANC is because he understands that Ruto might not go back to the ballot with Kindiki, the exact same way that Trump dumped Mike Pence for JD Vance. And so if a replacement for Kindiki can only be found in the wilderness, then Mudavadi has decided he shall be a part of that wilderness. What do I mean? Well, you see, Ruto has no plans to pick a deputy from within UDA. He was and is still actively looking externally. And if the eyesight of Kasongo falls on Western, ANC and Mudavadi will be waiting. I feel like that's the general gameplay right here. Number two, much as Kindiki might be dropped by Ruto, even Musalia himself knows that he's expendable because his numbers are decimal. All the numbers that he had, and they were quite little, have been taken by Natembea. You know, it takes me to a famous quote in the Bible that he who has little, even the little that he has shall be taken away from him and given to him who has more. So those small little numbers that Mudavadi used to have been taken by the newcomers like Natembea, and he's been left with nothing. Even the party was taken. This is his first major win in a long time where the party has been returned to him. Empty as it might be, it's just a logo. But if he can humble himself, use the resources that he has against the prerogative of the president, go to Vihiga where we've always known Mudavadi to have his solitary numbers, and he actually reinforces that turf, then he has a footing to negotiate with the opposition. He'll also have a footing to renegotiate with Ruto by saying, you know, if you out me from the PCS position, Prime Cabinet Secretary, then forget about Vihiga. And if I rope Wetangula into this mix, forget about Bungoma. They can collectively bully the president to retain their seats. Politics is all about numbers. It's all about operating from a position of strength, not weakness. So I guess him getting ANC back, much as it's just a logo at this juncture, is still beneficial. Now, of course, the next question will be this. Much as Musalia Mudavadi has regained control of his party, will he take the steps to fully own the party? You know, it's similar to you give your brother your land. Maybe you both got 1 acre each and you decide, maybe because you are wealthy or whatever reason, you give 1 acre to your brother. Gentleman's agreement. But your parents come and review what the two of you have done and they say, no, return this land to the firstborn or to the lastborn. That is the verdict they've reached. But now the brother who received this parcel of land is watching the other brother, trying to see what he'll do. Will you take this land that you gave me just because our parents are saying I shouldn't have it? That in and of itself is a point of friction. If Musalia now goes and reopens the ANC party headquarters, he's doing press conference in the green regalia and so on and so forth, Ruto will be like, so you're actually behind this lawsuit that we lost. And you're actually very happy to regain ANC. It'll be a reason for Ruto to start hating Mudavadi and ultimately get rid of him. I expect this guy to not do jack shit about any of it. Now, surprise, surprise, this ANC-UDA demerger is not the only legal loss for UDA this week. Even the so-called State House economic advisors like David D have been declared unconstitutional by the very same courts. Just have a look at this header, for instance, and I quote, Ruto advisory offices quashed. High Court quashes President William Ruto establishment of advisory offices, voids appointment of 21 individuals, and bars payment of salaries. So what does that mean? That means those State House economic advisors, the environmental advisors, and so on and so forth, they've all been declared null and void. Moving forward, they cannot draw a salary legally from State House. Now, of course, this is all pending an appeal from the Office of the Attorney General. Perhaps it might be successful if they bribe their way in the judiciary, or perhaps it goes nowhere. But either way, it saves the taxpayer, because if all the advice inapeanwa State House ndo inarudi kwa hii mambo ya empowerment and bribery and abduction, then we don't need those guys. That advice is trash. Nobody pays for trash. You pay for things which have value. So from where I sit, all the better. Let them go find something else. They can contribute to this country in another way. Maybe shida hata si wow, they are advising a person who cannot be advised. Tunasikia yeye ndo his own economic advisor, yeye ndo anajua mambo ya environment, yeye ndo alikuwa waziri wa higher education back then, so he knows everything about education. So perhaps that is what we are dealing with here. Either way, that's just my opinion. Let's see what Kenyans next have to say this. And in particular, I feel like she'll just read a tweet from Shola Ad, because she's summarized everything in a way that I need not say much more. Just have a look at this and I quote. I know some of you may disagree with me on this, but it needs to be said. Kenya is losing significant public resources through a constitutional loophole that allows advisors like Ndi, Makau Mutua, Edward Waswa, and so on and so forth to exercise real influence without the accountability required of state officers. The issue is not whether these individuals are intelligent or educated. The issue is structural. Government advisors are not classified as state officers, yet they are paid from public funds. They shape policy direction and influence national decisions while remaining outside formal oversight. I agree with that. No public participation. They're not accountable to anyone. We don't know what they're advising. Wanaingia kazi saa ngapi, wanatoka saa ngapi, what are the deliverables? E-advisor BS is how people steal money and draw salaries for no good reason. So, well and good with that ruling. But I would say you guys do drop me your comments in the comment section below and I'll do my best to read them and to give you a response. So with that, here are today's ads of the day. If you're in need of office petitioning or home interior works, i.e. kitchen cabinets, modern media walls, wall decoration, wainscoting, wardrobes, tiles, bathrooms, window blinds, gypsum and so on, reach out to Suima's Interiors at 07170 443 or info@suimas.co.ke and they'll get all your needs sorted out. Whatever it may be, all interior works, these guys are the best at it. If you're in need of electrical wiring, solar installation, or electrical fittings such as strip lights, snake lights, downlighters, or chandeliers, contact Engineer Wycliffe at 0707 476602 and he'll get your house dapped up. If you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching for a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula. Hit the subscribe button, you're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios. Thank you for choosing David Wafula as your primary news platform. We put countless hours in research, recording, and editing. By showing up each and every day to watch our videos, you encourage us to generate more videos for the viewers. We are on a mission to inform, educate, and build a better tomorrow. To our thousands of followers in a world full of presidents, kings, and queens, you are the real gem. Adios.